Okay guys, let's talk about Rudyard Kipling. You know Rudyard Kipling because he's the writer of The Jungle Book. See? You know The Jungle Book. We're not reading The Jungle Book, but I encourage you to read it. It's quite lovely. So let's talk a little bit about his bio, and then we'll talk about the poem The White Man's Burden, which you are reading. So Rudyard Kipling was born in 1865. He died in 1936. He was born in Bombay, India, but educated in England, and he was English. In 1882, he returned to India where he worked for newspapers and started his literary career. He was chiefly known as a writer of short stories, and he was a very prolific writer. He achieved literary fame quite quickly. Many saw him, and still see him, or saw him then, as the poet of the British Empire. He was writing, poems about the British Empire and about the common soldier. He glorified the empire and the soldier in many of his works. During the First World War, Kipling wrote some books that were just all-out propaganda books. In his lifetime, he was the recipient of many honorary degrees and awards. And then he's most known for, in 1907, winning the Nobel Prize for Literature, and he was the first Englishman to do so. All right, The White Man's Burden. Let's talk about this poem. Okay. So it was published in 1899, and it was a response to what was happening with America, actually. At the time, the USA had recently won the Philippines from Spain in the Spanish-American War, and the USA was busy colonizing the Philippines. And so Kipling wrote White Man's Burden as a response to this. The poem proposes that white people have an obligation to rule over and encourage cultural development of people from other cultural backgrounds until they can take their place in the world economically and socially. Let's just sit with that for a second. Kipling probably would have argued that this was a philanthropic view. He would have said that the rich, the wealthy, the more powerful have a moral duty and obligation to help the poor better, air quotes, themselves, whether the poor want that help or not. Yeah, there's some issues with this view, and this is a pretty imperialist view. I think you're going to find yourself kind of shocked reading this poem and sort of like blah over some of the things that he says, because he just puts them out there. Like, he's basically saying it's the white man's responsibility to fix others. Okay, enjoy Kipling, enjoy The White Man's Burden. It will definitely give us lots to talk about.